So welcome to this guide on how to get the dirty hacker ending for the game, or do the speedrun for it at least. The first thing I need to mention is that before you start the run, you want to be on 50% difficulty by going into the extras, and you want the auto skip menu button, because that basically allows you to auto mash by holding C. This is also on version 2.04 of the game, which on the speedrun.com website for this, you can find a link for it. I'm not sure if glitches work. All of the glitches work on 2.05. Anyway, once you've done all that, you can go start the run. The thing about this is that there aren't any actually circumstances in the game where your name is read out, which would save time. But it's good habit to call yourself one character anyway. I'm just gonna call myself this, and you can start time when you press yes on the run. So first you just got to wait out this cutscene. It's not much really happening. You just want to move optimally through here. Interact with this and press the auto masher. Now it doesn't really matter if you're doing a true reset or not. Which, if you're not doing a true reset, then it'll skip this, the whole Temmie encounter and just go straight to this. Like, normally there'll be, like, an attack that shows up here, and you have to, like, dodge it. Now, you can take a heal with this save here, because Temmie puts you to 1 HP. You don't have to, but that would mean you have to no-hit, Royal Knights, the Greasers, and Metacritic, or back-to-back. The lever combination in this room is that. It's right, left, and middle. Now when holding auto masher is of note that you want to hold it during like a cutscene, because otherwise you can accidentally open the menu and lose some time, because they both are the same button. This is the way you get through these spike mazes. You want to hit this switch, mash through this, and in this room you press no, because this skips the encounter with dummy. Again, hold auto mash through this. Now here, what I do is I interact with this, because otherwise if I went over here, it would, Asgore would start yelling at me saying that I should take some of the items for battle, but by taking one there, it just completely skips that. In this encounter, you want to go over to Mercy and Spare. The way I do that is I press left and then hit Z plus enter. Here again is another cutscene that you can't really do anything through. Okay, so once you get through there, actually, you want to move quickly through this room because there's a chance you could get an encounter like that. If you're quick enough, though, you can get into here before you get an encounter. You want to go into this doorway because it's the fastest. Walk on these two buttons and enter the right door. The other two will send you back to the beginning of the room. It's always the right door. The switch combination in this room is this one, this one, this one, this one. And in this room, again, the switch combination is this, this, this. So top to bottom. And in here, it's bottom to top. Mash through this, and beware of this choicer. You can't actually auto-mash choices. You actually have to press Z in order to select on them. And then go into, once you've done that, go into here. To get the first encounter, which is against the Ruined Knights. Now, the way to do the Ruined Knights is, you want to go to Act and Rebuke twice on Carapace. I don't know how it's pronounced. Because this is the most optimal way to spare them. If you get this attack, that attack is the fastest. It's optimal to get that twice in a row, and it's completely random. I got it twice there. Yeah, if you do it correctly, his name will turn yellow, which means you can spare him, but you want to get Valor to be spareable as well, and to do that, you're encouraged twice. It's not possible to get that Ahaha attack on after when sparing any. So the way these knights work is that when you act on one of them, there's a chance to get an attack where only that specific knight will attack. Like in Carapace's case, it's the Ahaha one, which means you can only get that attack if you act on him. It's not possible to get it if you act on the other knights, which means you don't have to worry about RNG. This is one of the team attacks, which you can get that from acting on any knight. And once both are spareable, you can spare. You need to spare these guys, these two, before you can spare the other one. Scuttler, you want to remind twice. Again, go on to remind. And then you can spare. That's the fastest way to do the Ruined Knights. In this room, don't bother taking the Clover Hat, you don't need it. Also, if you do, the thing about armor in this game is that if you have it, you can't. There's a chance you can't actually run away from an enemy, which means it's. And because you want to run away from like everything, it's just you never want to equip armor in this game. So the way you do this rock puzzle is you move the top one. In this room, you move the rock onto this run. If you get an encounter like that where it's already spareable, you can spare it, but I don't do that because I have bad reaction time. In this room, move the rock like this. Actually, I'm gonna go reset it. So you want to come up here, hold right down, and then move down and push it onto there. Push it to the left and then hold up, which push it onto this button. Then what I do is I push it a bit and then go down and up right, and that moves it onto there. I'm gonna take a save, so why not? There's another cutscene here you have to mash through. And now we get to Mad Dummy, or the sewers. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't actually matter where he stands on the vertical axis, because even though you're falling, the cutscene doesn't start until the noise finishes. So it doesn't actually matter where you're standing. In sewers, don't bother about dodging these, because for a meta crit later, you don't actually want to be at full health, so... And also, it's just faster to just keep moving and not bother about anything in your way. In this area, the order is blue, green, red. So you want to hit the blue switch first, and then come down to the green one. And then hit the red one. And that will take you into the encounter with Mad Dummy again. Smash through this, and Just optimally move through this, don't bother about the bullets. You can try dodge them when you can, but focus on time and not dodging. That goes for all areas where you can get hit in the overworld. Again, once you get through here, whenever I say mash, by the way, just hold Z, like the menu button, or control as well works. I'm pretty sure. You want to take this gun because we need it for Muffet later, but you don't want to equip it till much later on in the run, because we kill Muffet in this speedrun. I want to take a save here, and then go to the. You don't have to actually press anything. That's just the screen transition. It might look like you have to press something. Once you get to here, just again, it's just not much, just movement. Now, it's ideal when you get to here to keep holding the auto mash button, because that means you can get into this next cutscene. You do want to go to the left and up here, and instantly auto mash through this. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what choice you press there. I press yes because why not? It's just the main thing is you want to be in here and walk into this cutscene because you need to fight these guys to progress. Auto mash through this. Right, so for this fight, what I do, it's important to note you want to take damage in this fight to get below 5 HP. The strat is to go into Moldric and then call out and then imitate twice. So call out. Try to take some damage. Don't take too much because you need to make sure you can actually don't die. It's only on 50% difficulty, but still. Then you imitate twice. And that'll make him become cerebral. I do Norman after this. I don't know if you can go to Axel, but I do Norman because when I was learning the route, they did Norman, so I just assume that you have to do Norman. I'd recommend doing Norman next, because this is the way I do it. For Norman, you want to intimidate. Again, make sure to take the damage. And then you want to distract Norman. This fist that Axel uses always does 2 damage. And then reveal. And that will get rid of him. Now, with Axel, the glasses do 1 damage and the tears do 2 damage. On his final attack, when he starts shaking, the tears for some reason do 3 damage. So for Axel, it's just flex 3 times. So make sure you end this fight on below 5 HP, that's very important. And then you can spare them once you've flexed 3 times. So now you want to go back this way. Make sure not to save at all. Don't use any save points or heal, because it's optimal for Metacrit to be below 5 HP. Since for some reason, if you're below 5 HP, Metacrit completely skips the dramatic pause. There's also a choice here that you need to be careful of. That shows up just, which you can't auto-mash through that, you actually have to interact with it. So in the Metacrit, you want to do is flirt 3 times. For this attack, go up to the top and move down. And then move up here. if you're below 5 HP and you've done flirt 3 times, go on to pose, and you can instantly end the fight. Just like that. It completely skips the dramatic pause, and I have no clue why. Here, you just want to hold up. Also, one thing to note that I haven't completely forgot to mention, is that you want auto run to be off, on I mean, because then you don't have to hold the run key. I don't know if that's turned on by default or if it's because I didn't true reset. But if you're not doing true reset, just make sure that the runs you're doing have that auto turned on. Again, I don't do true reset, so I don't actually know. Interact with this bed. You need to, in Asgore's house, you need to interact with the bed before Asgore shows up on his, on here. And you need to interact with him in order to leave. So you just wanna, once you get to help me, then he'll leave. And once you can do that, then the gate will open. You want to take a heal here to be on full HP. You don't have to save, you can just interact with the save point. Mash through this. Okay, Asgore. So, Asgore, when you take 3 lots of damage to one of his attacks, it'll end the turn instantly. And this is why we put on 50% difficulty, because that means we can take more damage, which makes the fight go a lot faster. So, the way this is done is you go on to talk and take 3 damage as fast as possible. Then go on to talk again and repeat. There is one attack where you don't want to take 3 damage on, where he uses a trident. I'll show which one that is. Once you've got onto the Ask, Remind, and Comfort, you want to go on to Ask. Then go on to Remind 3 times. This attack, actually dodge it normally. You press Remind again. And on the last attack, if you have 1 HP and you get hit, it will end the fight. But if you're on the very final act, then it'll just end the turn and then you can spare. I don't actually know what happens if you're not on the final turn, but if you're on the final turn, you can just get hit once, it'll end it, and then you can cover. And that's the Asgore fight. You want to spare him 4 times. And that's... Now, again, it's important to not save at all, like, do not heal after this point until we get to the Sands race, because on the Sands race it's optimal to die. And you can die quicker by having less HP. That doesn't come up for a bit. But first we got these Temmie cutscenes, which again, if you're not true resetting, then they'll just laugh at you instead of actually like approaching you normally. One thing to note is when you're entering the door, if you hold the auto mash button, which is C or control, it makes this faster for some reason. Like, honestly, if you compare this to not holding auto masher, it's much faster on that menu, sort of the TS Underswap by Team Switched sequence. It's much faster to hold auto mash for some reason. Again, back to the usual. This is another thing. affected by not resetting. And when you get into this room, start holding right and down immediately, because then you can get through this room sometimes without an encounter. Like there, I got an encounter because I wasn't being optimal, like I started moving around. If you hold down and right, you can get through the room without an encounter. In here, make sure to press no and don't be an idiot like I am and press yes and lose like 7 seconds to this cutscene. Also, if you hold right and up, it does save some time as well. Yeah, you want to hit the left button first. It's faster. Here, hold. You want this mushroom to launch you upwards, so hold right, up and right into that. Hit this, up right into here, and in this cutscene, hold up right and it saves the frame. Again, auto mash through your voice answer. Now solve these next two puzzles normally. It's of note that for some reason, if you try to gain speed down here, you can't, but if you're up here, you can. Which, I don't know why that works like that. I guess it's just the hitboxes. But if you speed onto that and diagonally launch, you can hit both those buttons. Well, not at the same time. It's just that if you, it's just that it'll launch you here. That's the way you solve the puzzle normally, and it's how you solve it in speedruns. Now this is the Sans race I was talking about earlier. If you don't heal, then you'll be on 5 HP. And basically just take damage as quickly as you can. And once you get to 1 HP, then you fall off, and it skips the rest of the Sans race and has this special cutscene, which I'm going to auto-mash through because this is a speedrun guide and not a cutscene showcase. Again, there's some just more cutscenes and stuff. Not much going on here. Flee away from that enemy. And more cutscenes that are completely unskippable. I'm starting to sound a bit bored right now. It's because I'm used to early IOU, which has like way more glitches. And most of this is just cutscenes and walking. Also, once you get past the Sans race, there's no need to be that low HP anymore. So you can just take a heal here if you want, because you're at 1 HP. Now we have the Doggo fight coming up, which you actually kill Doggo in this run, because it doesn't have to be a compassion speedrun. It's just Dirty Hacker, which means you just have to get to the end of the game as fast as possible. Then do the sequence to get the Dirty Hacker ending. So for Doggo, you want to knock. And knock again. Then wave. then shout, then betray kill him, because that gives us more attack for Muffet. You want to go over here, gain some speed, and hold down left on all of these mushrooms. Just solve this puzzle normally. For lesser dog, run away. I don't know why you can run away from that dog enemy, but like the other required ones you can't. Hey, I'm not complaining. Now here, this is where you'd fight the dog eye, and normally there would be a musical sort of sequence that takes like forever, but the developers actually put a hidden switch here, which if you press it, it will completely skip the musical. For the dog eye fight, go onto Dogami and then fetch twice. This only works if you have the stick still, which is why we didn't equip the toy gun. And then that's the fight. Now for here, there's a very important thing. If you use the binoculars and then speak to Sans twice, you'll get the super signal, which totally isn't like essential to getting the IOU in this game. Yeah, you do need the super signal to get the IOU later on to do the dirty hacker glitch. Again, flee. Any encounters you see that you can flee from, just flee from them. Also on that purple mushroom, make sure to hold up as well. For this rock puzzle, you want to do the green one before the yellow one, because the yellow one, if I go over here, fits into this above hole, which only can be accessed with the green one going in here. So yeah, don't hit the yellow one too early, else it will get stuck in those spikes. And for the blue one, you use the speedy gel in order to do that, to make it hit the mushroom. This is where I equip the toy gun. Just make sure you equip it after Dog Eye, otherwise you can't do the fetch trick. And now we get to see Muffet. But first, there are more cutscenes. There's literally nothing you can do about these cutscenes. You can, however, hold auto mash in order to immediately start mashing the second cutscene without having the chance of accidentally opening the menu if you press auto mash too early. Which, that cutscene is this one. Just keep holding auto mash. And basically don't let go of it until the Muffet fight starts. So, for Muffet, you want to actually kill her because it's optimal. What I do is I press Z plus enter, and then time the shots. If you're, you can actually skip a turn on Muffet if your shots are good enough. Also, start holding auto mash after every shot. On that case, sometimes there's text boxes after the attack, so it's ideal to hold auto mash through the attack as well. Not much else going on here. If you're not good enough with the attacks, I was gonna show what happens because there's another attack with like salt cans that you can skip if your attacks are well, but I did not realize that her health was that low. Yeah, so what I got there was the quick kill. Basically saving a turn on Muffet if your attacks are good enough. Now for this, because I run so much early IOU, it's I always end up going the wrong way. What you want to do is go here and then use the red rock. If you put the rock like this, you can actually do this, and it makes this puzzle a lot more trivial. And, like, instead of having to time it and maybe accidentally missing. You can line this rock up now. Then you want to go up here and hit this button to aim the mushroom upwards. Hold left and up, and that will take you back here. Then do the same trick with this rock. I'm only taking saves for the sake of this guide in an actual speedrun. The only saves I would recommend... I wouldn't recommend... In fact, it's optimal to not take any saves. The only heals from the saves, though, I'd recommend taking is the very first one after the Temmie cutscene. And you need to take the one before Asgore. Otherwise, you can't do the fast strats. So for the Mad Dummy Chase, again, it's just surviving. You do want to stay up high, because that makes, that saves some time in the next part, where Harry and Larry show up. I actually haven't tested this does save time, but I do it, just in case. It doesn't really matter. Also, I tried to stay up high during this part as well, but again, I don't know if it matters or not. Auto mash. So here's where the most interesting part of the run comes in. Like, most of this has just been killing enemies, acting quickly, mashing through cutscenes. So this is the part where this is like the important part of the run, because this allows you to get Dirty Hacker. So for when you get to Coffin K, by the way, when I opened the menu right there, that was me trying to auto mash at the wrong time. That's what can happen if you're auto mashing at the wrong time. You want to go into his mansion and go to the right, move up here, hit that button, or it's the way you come down, and enter this cutscene and start holding auto mash. Then go use the super signal and start holding auto mash again. This gives you the IOU, which is basically this game's equivalent of the punch card. When there's a text box, you can't move. Like, I'm pressing move and I can't move right now. But when there's no text box, I can move just fine. Same goes for the IOU. When this is on screen, I can't move, and when I close it, I can move. But when the IOU is open, if I go to a bigger room to show this off, when I use the IOU, notice I very slightly move upwards. That's because there's one frame of gameplay time that takes place in between me using the IOU. So if you use the IOU and then try to interact with something during that one frame, you can get it both on screen. And if you press X to close the IOU, you can move around to the menu with the text box open. Another application of the IOU is that if you get a text box open, it has multiple layers, like this one. Let me just reset it. And start holding C, which auto-matches this text box and opens the menu. You can gain movement with the menu open. Be very careful of accidentally opening the journal, because that can completely screw you over in certain places. The journal can't open though if you're in the item menu or the stats menu. Anyway, so now you know how the IOU works. From that room where you got it, you basically want to walk through here and into the main area. Then you want to go through this corridor. It's fine, you can tank these bats, it doesn't really matter. Then you want to go to the right and interact with this thing here. This gives you one of the servant items. Normally this would be used to complete one of the duties, but this is a speedrun and we don't have time to do duties. So what you want to do is you want to come out to here and use the IOU on this and get this text box up. Then with it, walk over to the gate and start holding auto mash, and you'll clip right through it. I mashed through those text boxes, but I'm not sure if you actually have to do that or not. If you do want to auto mash through the text boxes, you can just keep holding auto mash and not open the menu. Anyway, so you want to come down here and start walking down to the. Just keep walking, and eventually you end up in this part. Now, once you get to here, this is the most important trick of the run. So, because we did that whole sequence, these guys are still blocking your path. And normally, the way you'd get rid of them is by going up and fighting Coffin K. But you can do a trick with the mushroom to bypass that. So, there are two ways to do this. The first way is you want to get the IOU open. You want to get the IOU open by menu buffering and hold down onto the mushroom. And then what you want to do is close it, and then use an info text box in order to get text box open. And I completely messed that up, so give me a second. I'll just edit to the one where I actually get it. Yeah, so if you info it quick enough, you can get out of bounds, and if you start holding upright, you can walk out of bounds and walk all the way around to the cutscene transition where you would normally go and fight Sans. The problem with that is recently there's a new way to do the trick which I think is faster. I do it because it's easier and doesn't soft lock. If you get the IOU open on the mushroom again, instead of actually using it, you want to walk off, and as you're walking, close the IOU. And if you do it right, when you open the menu, you'll start moving downwards. This allows you to do some... Also, make sure not to enter the inn, because if you enter a cutscene, it gets rid of it. Again, walk off the mushroom. If you do it right, you can have movement. Now the way I get past this is I use the menu to start moving downwards through the invisible wall, and I start holding left the opposite direction, because if I hold the direction I want to go, it will teleport you the opposite direction. Like here I'm holding... Well, that's what you want to happen. Yeah, let me just demonstrate here. If you hold right, you'll get teleported to the left, and if you hold left, you'll get teleported to the right. Or in my case, down, because I was holding up. That was not meant to be part of the demonstration. But anyway, do the thing, walk off it, close it, and if you did it right, you gain movement. What I do is I stand around here, open the menu and start holding left and then close the menu, and that teleports me onto the bridge. Now, if you do my method, not the method where you go out of bounds, you have to skip this cutscene, which can be visually lined up with this lamp, and just walk past him into the Sands room. And if you walk into this with the Sands room, it will trigger Dirty Hacker, which this is the cutscene, by the way. That's why it's called Dirty Hacker. And once you end this last text box, you can end time and you've completed the run. So yeah, hopefully I didn't miss anything out. Comment down below if you have any questions. Yeah. Bye.